Hi, everybody. Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DLA Ignite. With me today, I've got Stephen Morgan, and we're going to be talking about how to be fit for business. Stephen is a personal trainer, and he's going to be talking to us about what we need to be doing, either at a company level or as an individual level, about what we need to be doing about making sure that we're fit to work.
Yep.
Before we dive in, Steve, where can people find you?
So you can find me on all social medias. Handles is Morgan Health and Fitness, and my website is morganhealthandfitness.co.uk. So yeah, contact me anywhere on there, and I'll be
Okay.
happy to get back to you.
So Steve, what is it that we can, why do we need to be fit for business? Why is that important?
Well, fit for business, as in fitness for work, is like kind of multi-strands. You need to be fit to be able to stay in work, as in taking less days off work, whether that be fighting chronic illness or chronic pain, basically. So lower back pain, neck pain, anything like that. Now that can affect obviously big business because you are looking to keep your staff working and keep their output nice and high. If they're taking days off, obviously you're paying money for nothing effectively. So that's one strand of it. But then it's also being fit for business to actually be have your mental focus to be able to provide the best of yourself to actually get more output and more productivity. But also being fit it gives you discipline. It makes things habitual. It's an all encompassing for basically being just better at work. So
And so all of those things, I mean, from both the company level and an individual level, is good for us because we don't like being sick, and
100%.
neither does our employer like us being sick.
No, definitely not. But there's so many things we can do that a lot of people just don't realize that could be done just to make a small differences. If you make lots of small differences, lots of small changes that can just make you generally fitter, healthier, better outlook on life, more positivity, less anxiousness, less pain, and yeah, just better focus.
So what sort of things could we be doing?
So, like first of all, I would think about like if you're looking at people with a chronic pain, so neck pain, back pain, comes down to posture a lot, and you've probably heard a lot of people talk about the way you sit at a desk. If you're a desk-bound job, yeah, posture, you just changed it then, perfect. Is It's very important because if you are sat at a desk for a very long period of time, we have things what's called adaptive shortening of the muscles. So things like hamstrings, when we're sat down for long periods of time, our hamstrings get shortened in that position because the legs are bent. Now that has a knock-on effect to your lower back, basically, because the hamstrings attach at the pelvis, pull everything forward, and you literally get lower back pain if your hamstrings get too tight. So that's a very simple thing to correct with just generally being a bit fitter and focusing on mobility and stretching.
So I've got a stand-up desk. I'm not standing
Yep.
up at the moment, I press these buttons here and it basically moves up. And
Perfect.
sometimes I do meetings standing up.
Yeah. I'm a big advocate of standing desks, but I'm also would say to people, don't stand for too long,
Mm.
don't sit for too long. So we need to find a happy medium of both. So when you've got the ones that the desks that can move up and down, perfect, because yeah, you wouldn't really want to stand for more than an hour, and then you don't want to sit down for more than an hour. So if you can change it, then that's brilliant because you're not letting your body get used to those shortened positions of the muscles. So that's like one thing that I would say is very prevalent for people with the lower back issues, if people are having time off, because when you get lower back pain, it is quite debilitating because you just can't get comfortable. But it also has a knock-on effect for everything else because if you can't get comfortable in pain, you're then going to not be able to sleep very well. If you don't sleep very well, you don't recover, stress levels go up, cortisol's released even more, and it just has a negative downward spiral effect. So it's very important to try and address, and it can be sorted with very simple exercises, very simple stretches, and like you say, maybe thinking about the desk being standing, sitting, occasionally using a Swiss ball. Bit of variety is the spice of life.
So sitting on a Swiss ball rather than a chair or something like that.
Yep, can help for a number of reasons because it gets you having to fire your core. basically. So
Right.
when I say core, is the core is stabilizing your spine. So if you can work those muscles more and actually engage them and be in the correct posture that we should be, or our body wants to be, then you're not going to get bad habits, the adaptive shortening, and thus reduce pain
Okay.
in most cases.
Okay. And what else? What else can we be doing?
So it's also a lot of problems with neck. So posture, where we're looking at phones and tablets or not having the screens in the right place, in this kind of position here for long periods of time, our head weighs a lot. And our neck muscles, basically, if they aren't working as they should do, you get pulled into that position, you get that hump on the back getting developed on the top of your neck, and that can cause one, pain, so you'd be off the neck, but it also can make you basically lose focus because you're thinking about that pain the whole time, and it can give you migraines, stress headaches, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, posture is a very, very big thing.
So, so in terms of, we now have we now know that we need to sit in a particular way, and we need to look at our posture.
Yeah.
What else can we be doing around our fitness for work and for business?
So first of all, with the posture, you would need some corrective exercises for most people as well to get those muscles that we need developed and actually keeping you in position. So yes, basically sat here upright straight, I'm supported, my back, but my neck isn't. So you need to do some corrective exercises, especially if you've got rounded shoulders, internal rotation of your shoulders, and you've got that kyphosis starting, which is the upper back rounding. So
Right.
corrective exercise, movement, mobility, that kind of stuff needs to be done.
And so what also can we, in terms of turning up on the day, what to work, what can we do to make sure that our fitness is the optimum, so when we're turning up to work, we are the optimum that we can be?
Yep. So following a good training program. Now
Okay.
there is no right or wrong.
And what's a good training program mean?
So that's the million dollar question, as in it's what's right for you, because a training program needs to be individualistic, as in it needs to be tailored to the individual, because although we are mechanically the same, we all have differences.
Yeah.
So a training program should never be one size fits all. So
Yeah.
it should be changed. So I can't really answer that in the sense of the perfect workout for everyone. But you need a general level of cardiovascular fitness because like
That's
yeah,
brilliant.
exactly, breathing. Yeah, so if you have a good respiratory system, good cardiovascular fitness, so I couldn't get that out, that will enable you to be effectively when you're at work stronger, be able to be like to be able to take more work on because you do fatigue during the day at work. Where even when you're sat at a desk, it's mentally draining, but there is the physical as well, being slouching, losing posture. it, you need that level of fitness to keep that mental clarity and that
Mm.
focus and not make silly mistakes and not miss
And,
deals.
and this is about the fact that we need to be making sure that we have a level of fitness, we have the right diet, so we're eating the right things,
Yeah.
and we're getting enough sleep as well.
Yeah. So it's all encompassing. So you need all of that together. So, but they're just little changes for people
Mm.
at work can make a big difference. Like for instance, like changing the food that you have in the morning can really help your focus levels for the morning. As in, you need a slow, sustained release of carbohydrate
Yeah.
to basically fuel you, so you can make the correct decisions. If you have a sugar drop, basically, you will not focus properly. You will make silly mistakes and you won't even realize obviously you're making them. Well, you wouldn't make them if you if you knew they were happening, but yeah, it can help actually, yeah, make you focus on what you're doing and deliver and produce the right stuff and the
Because
right productivity.
one of the issues, isn't there, in terms of our food, is that breakfast cereal, certainly as in the UK, is very sugary.
Yeah, yeah, very, very sugary.
And so what you do is that you eat it, and then what you do is you bulk up on it, because you know what happens by 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
You've run out of energy, and so
yeah,
you basically take more and more and more of this sugary stuff to try and get
yeah,
you through the morning.
exactly. Like to let's talk about sugar levels as a ebbs and flows, because we're trying to keep those ebbs and flows as shallow as possible throughout the day, because whenever you take a sugary substance in or a carbohydrate substance in, your blood levels will spike, your sugar levels will spike a little bit. What happens then is obviously we produce insulin, and if you're not diabetic, obviously you could produce the insulin, and it grabs onto it and pulls you down. But we want something which is a slow release carbohydrate, which can keep you just gradually coming up and a very gradual pullback down. We're not having huge spike, huge low, and then, oh, I need to some sugar again really quickly, going to grab that huge spike again and down again, because you're never on a like the level. You're never in your optimal mind and productivity. So your output is just going to plummet. Basically, you'll hit. Let's just say you're in work at 9 o'clock. You've had your breakfast. You'll suddenly go, oh, at 11 o'clock. You just
Yeah.
will have that downer, and then you just won't be productive from 11 till 12.
Or
Until
you go
uh,
to
yeah,
the
snack machine.
chocolate machine and you buy
Yeah,
chocolate, and then the same thing happens at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's again, vicious circle. You've got to try and sustain. And the same thing will happen at lunch. If people are making the wrong decisions with food at lunch, what they're having, whether it's supplied at the office or whether they go out and get something. I don't know whether you've ever noticed this. If you had some food that didn't quite agree with you, whether if you have an intolerance or anything like that, you then have that huge lull. You feel sleepy after lunch. And again, you won't be productive for another period of time. So about an hour after food, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I don't really feel as though I'm
Because the
at my
blood
best.
goes all to the stomach to help
Stomach
digest
as
it,
well.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And especially if you've had something that is doesn't agree with you. A lot of people have intolerances that they just don't even know about. And they're fueling, it's not having a massive effect on you, but does have an effect. It could reduce your productivity down by about 5-10%. And if that's happening day in, day out, think how much you're losing business potential, sales you're missing, deadlines you're missing because you're not using those couple of hours post breakfast when you've had that low, post afternoon when you're sorry, after lunch when you've got that other low. You're just not functioning properly, not optimal.
When I used to work in the city, and I used to get love going out to Pret a
Yep.
Manger,
Yep.
which is a sandwich shop here, and they used to do these lovely baguettes,
Hmm.
and they were really nice and crispy. But because it was bread and
Yep.
carbohydrate,
Yep.
you'd eat this lovely, because they make it all fresh,
Yep.
and you eat this thing, and then you'd go.
Yep. Exactly. So
So
that
I ended up having. So I just moved to salads and chicken salads and stuff like that.
perfect.
Because of the fact that I'd love the baguette, but you'd be sitting there going, "I've got to try and stay awake somehow."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So and then people turn to coffee or tea
Yes,
to
or
try and
chocolate.
or chocolate, yeah, or something like that to try and go. If they're trying to be healthy, they're like, oh well, I'll go for the coffee. It'll just give me that little spike. It'll give me some mental clarity, a bit of focus, a bit more productivity, and it does work. Caffeine in moderation is good, but yeah, if you're having that baguette, that is quite, especially if it's a white baguette,
Yeah,
is
with that lovely white baguette.
it's
Yeah,
quite processed.
mm.
It is fast releasing carbohydrate, but it's also gluten as well in there. So if you're slightly gluten intolerant, then that will slow you down because your digestive system is having to work even harder to try and break that down. Yes, as you said, blood's going to go to that area, and you're not going to be productive. So it's making those right choices.
So we've looked at ways of sorting out in terms of our where we sit. We've looked at making sure that we're eating and we're sleeping. What
Yep.
can we do in terms of general fitness? In terms of what can we do as individuals, or what can we do in the workplace to
Okay.
actually make sure that we're getting fit? So, for example, I did the Couch to 5K app
Yep.
back in 2020,
Hmm.
which enables you to do 5K in 6 weeks. I think I had to do it
Yep.
about 3 times
Yep.
before I actually achieved it.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is that I that's what I decided to do.
Perfect.
But what is it that people could do?
Okay, so first of all, if we tackle the business, what they could do, like I'm a big advocate of first of all trying to create some kind of small challenges now
Okay.
within the workplace. Now, I know that's been done before, tried and tested with things like step counting. Now, it can be done as long as it's in a controlled environment
So
and
so that's where you'd basically say, right, we're going to do a step challenge or something.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
but there's more advanced ways that you can do that. There's apps out there with I've used with companies and people before that you can set up kind of races
Mm.
where you plug in, like let's just say you set it up for your team. You were running a team of 10. in your business, and you wanted them to go from London to Paris. You can set that up on the app, and they basically can track their activity levels. Now that can be, they can enter distance that they've walked, run, cycled, rode, whatever they want. They could put that in, and then it's a team event to try and make it as
Okay,
quick.
so you could get teams
Yeah,
compete. You could get development competing with sales, and
exactly. Yeah. So you can create any like a healthy environment within the work as well. So some healthy competition, but also just spurring everyone to be that little bit fitter. So yeah, that's a great thing to do. It's I found that with great success with a lot of people. They've embraced it and really done well with it. And it's, as I said, it's all controlled on apps, whichever company you use to do it. But it's a fantastic way to team build, to make people do a little bit more, and yeah, create that healthy competition. Fantastic.
there's a maybe it's an urban myth,
Yep.
but in California at Facebook's campus,
Yep.
you get all these people basically walking around talking, and that's because they're all going to do 10,000 steps. So they're
Right.
doing meetings on headphones, and they keep walking around the buildings and stuff.
Okay. Brilliant for fitness, but are they as switched on to the meeting as they possibly could be? I would argue that you would need to do the fitness outside, trying to make time for it in and around work, not whilst doing meetings. But if it works for you, then then great. But yeah, that so business wise, they can do that kind of stuff. One thing that I would say is, like, a fantastic thing that is offered by myself and probably other businesses as well, is going into a company and doing a small talk. Okay, so a lot of people don't have access to trainers, to coaches, especially not good ones, because there are a lot of people out there that are charlatans or whatever. It's being able to go in and just give them nuggets of information, like small bits and pieces that they can put together. If they take away, they're not going to take away everything, but just a small talk to people can sometimes open their eyes and realize, oh, they could be doing something slightly better. And you're getting those one percenters better the whole time.
So I have a story,
Yeah.
which is, I know this is about you, but I have a story which fits so I had my gallbladder out when I
Right.
was 14 years ago, and the consultant basically said, if you don't lose 10 kilograms, you'll be dead by the time that you're 50.
Right. Okay. So you had a big why.
Yes, but the
Yeah.
thing was at the time I was training for the London to Brighton off road.
Right. Good.
So I was cycling 50 miles a week on
Yeah.
my mountain bike. So it wasn't like I was sitting at home with my feet up eating McDonald's.
Yep.
And that was the difference, which was the fact that there was a number of things that I needed to do to actually lose the weight. And it wasn't necessarily more activity.
Yeah.
It was about changing the fact that I love crunchy nut cornflakes, but I haven't eaten them now for 14 years.
Yeah.
I love pork pies, but I stopped drinking alcohol.
Okay.
And there's a whole bunch of things that I had to do to basically check, small things
Yeah.
that I needed to change to basically lose that weight.
Yeah.
And I'm still here.
Okay. Yep. Perfect. Well done. It's brilliant that you've managed to make that change. Now, there's two key things that you hit there, which is basically the food, which I'm encompassing the alcohol as well with. That is massive to change. Obviously, that's the biggest thing that you need to change. It's kind
A
of,
pint of beer is 300 calories.
yeah, it's great.
And there's nothing in there in terms of
No,
vitamins or anything. So
there's
you go
nothing.
out on a night out, you've had all your calorific value for the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, and it's effectively poison to your body as well. Now,
Yeah.
I don't want to deem
No.
make anything bad, as in anything in moderation is good.
Yes.
But the key thing that you did with your training is, which most people don't realize, if you just up cardio, what cardio is doing is, yes, making you fit and healthy lungs, but it's not going to help you lose weight per se long term, because you're not building muscle tissue. You will lose muscle tissue. If you lose muscle tissue, that's the live tissue that you want. That is what burns calories all day, every day. So that's where weight training comes in as well. Now, it can be HIIT style training, weightlifting, postural correction, all that kind of stuff. As long as you are building that live tissue, that's how you lose weight. So you need a bit of both, but you need weight training as well, not just cardio.
And I think that was the thing that always that scared me, was the fact that there I was, and I happen to carry weight across my torso. It's a particular type of person that does it. I don't put it on anywhere else. It's just
Yep.
across here.
Yep.
But the fact that I was actually training, and I'd done a Bupa thing where they put all the electrodes on you, and they said you've got the cardiovascular of a middle distance runner.
Yep.
And then you basically, when you get opened up, and they say, actually, no, you're going to die in 5 years.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty serious.
But it has, of course, it's given me a goal.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, like anything in life, I think if you've got a big why for something and why you have to do it, you're obviously going to go after it that much harder, that much better, that much more focused, and you're going to make it happen. It's like,
yeah, he probably made it up, and he just says everybody, you know, and because he knows if he sends us, I'll cut you open now. I'm going to send you on your way, but now you're motivated to lose the weight.
Yeah. But if it worked, perfect.
It did, yes.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, that kind of training. But yeah, the fitness for yourself does need to be specific for the person, the individual, and the goal that they're looking to achieve. But if it's fitness for general business, you need a good balance of everything. So you need that cardiovascular fitness, the endurance, but you also need those, the strength, the muscle, the posture. Because one thing I'll just touch on, and with business, like confidence and posture. Could you think of walking into a meeting and someone comes in, if it's a face-to-face meeting, and someone comes in and goes, "Oh, hi," and they're trying to make a sale to you? What's that going to project? Body image straight away.
You got to sit up.
Yes, it's no confidence. If you come into the thing, now I'm trying to sell you something, Tim, and I come in like that, you're going to go, well, this guy's got no confidence in himself. Has he got confidence in the product he's trying to sell me as well? But if I walked in, not an arrogant, like standing up, but like just a normal posture, come in, greet you normally, but body image projects confidence. So if I'm confident in myself, then I'm going to be confident in what I'm selling as well.
Body image projects confidence. That's
fantastic. Body posture. So I probably should say, as in, the image that you are wanting to portray, you need to, show it off. As in, but be good posture.
Steve, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. It's a fantastic journey through the need for to be fit for business. Where can people find you?
Please look me up on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Steve Morgan or Morgan Health and Fitness is my handle for all of my socials.
Fantastic. Thank you, Steve.